Hey, yo! Welcome back to the Dugout and Beyond. So we're down 1 week of college football, and of course, if you have been watching, you know that there's been some crazy upsets. Of course, we also had very anticipated Deion Sanders' debut at Colorado after basically turning around Jackson State University the last couple of years. So of course, that was a huge thing that came in with this first week. And he definitely delivered and helped us have a great back and forth game there with TCU, of course, the defending runner-up national champions of college football last year, have them be unranked. And now, guess what? In both AP polls, they are now ranked in the in both polls. They are ranked in the AP. They are at 22. And they were, of course, not ranked before it. And then in the coaches AP poll, AFCA poll, they are just making it in at 25. But that's just insane again. That the only other team here that's saying that is made it into both polls actually. Duke is here unranked at 21 in the AP polls, and Duke is 24th in the coaches poll. So congrats to both, and huge wins for both. Of course, the TCU game was 45-42, and then the Duke game was just a little bit under at about I think it was here at 28-7 over Clemson, ranked number 9. Which, if you guessed that one, definitely Clemson dropped a lot for both polls. Here we have them dropping 16 ranks in the AP poll, and we have them dropping 12 ranks in the coaches poll, 21 and 25. So they definitely looked like a much smaller team than the past couple of years. They definitely still were running it up. They were physical, but they were just not as physical as Duke in the end. And of course, having multiple fumbles and missed field goals, blocked field goals in the red zone, it just hurts your chances of winning that game in general very much. So that is a huge reason, of course, why Clemson did lose that game. They just were not looking like a team that was ready to face a team that basically kind of had nothing to lose in the end, and now made a massive name for them. Of course, Duke is already a huge name in general in basketball, and just a university in general. It's a big name, but to make themselves just stand out like that the first time, awesome job. We didn't have many other drops. The only other one that had a major one was LSU losing to Florida State, which at that point they were actually, it was 5-8, I think it was here. So yeah, 5-8. So Florida was 8 ranked and LSU was 6. And of course, this is a rematch from earlier in the year, or earlier last year when Florida State won that game, but on a closer margin. It was an upset, but it was not this big. So in both polls, in the AP poll, they dropped down 9 points to 14. And in the coaches poll, they dropped down actually the exact same amount. So in both polls, the only in top 10, the only one that's actually switched different in them is Ohio State and Florida are just opposite. You have in the AP with Florida first, and the other one Ohio State first. But for the most part, top 10 is actually. No, here we have Notre Dame and Texas flipped for 11 and 10 in the polls. So, other than the two major drops for them, and of course Colorado having that huge game against TCU, which actually I thought they was gonna drop them more. I think they're not in the ranking actually. That's actually what happened. They dropped very far, that they're not even in the rankings here. But in the end, it was a great first week. Of course, you had, the Oregon Duck here having to basically do a world record. I don't know if it's a world record amount of push-ups in the end, but having your team score 81 points against Portland. the team doesn't really matter. They scored 81 points, which had, I think the Duck did like 786, I think, push-ups. Of course, they weren't on the mascot the entire time, so I don't really know if he did 780 something push-ups, or was around there. Let me see. So there's they were showing the Duck at the end, and he oh sorry, I was way off. 546 push-ups in that game. So granted, I'm sure even the strongest people would take them, yes, granted, hours, but I think it would take more than 2.5, 3 hours to do, maybe 5 or 6 hours. But in the end, they showed the Duck like hanging on to like the people that worked there for the team and just dropped, and like he made some movements to make sure that, like, I think they wanted to actually know if the guy was alive or not, because you have a giant head. It's basically just a walking sauna, that those mascots. So if you ever want to know how it is, it's probably, you just go sit in a sauna for like 20 minutes and you'll feel what they're feeling. But 81 points, 546 push-ups. Actually, it's a crazy thing to see teams like that do. But of course, college, you're gonna see some crazy scores: 49-3, 73-7, 56-13. Like, some of these scores are just honestly just completely ridiculous. Air Force beats Robert Morris 42-7, 49-13. I think Alabama won their game by like 50-60 points. Kentucky 44-14. Oklahoma 73-0 over Arkansas State. So yeah, this is just the sign of college football being back. You have some crazy differences in scores, but in the end, it's all good, fun and games. Of course, that's what it is. But yeah, I want to really get on this Colorado thing. We have them absolutely storming into week 1. No one really, of course, doubted Sanders about this because he got Jackson State changing up so much, but there were some people that really doubted their offense, really doubted how they kind of manage stuff. Of course, it's Coach Prime. You're gonna question what he's doing, but you're like, all right, like, we saw this already once. We hopefully could see it again. And he had I think it was like 56 transfers, which is the most amount for this year. And he had a lot of, you have his son, a 4-star recruit, is playing QB, comes in 510 yards, multiple touchdowns, breaks the school record for a single game with yards. And then you have Hunter coming in, and basically he transferred from Jackson State to Colorado. He's one of the actual guys that Sanders wanted to bring with him, and he did unreal. It was crazy what he did. But yeah, he basically just took what people thought that was going to happen and said, yeah, I don't care. So this game was so much fun to watch because, of course, it was against TCU, the runner-up of college football playoffs. But yeah, we had Hunter went for 14 targets, 11 receptions, 119 yards. Kind of crazy, he didn't have a single touchdown. But we have also Edwards from there, had 1 receiving and 1 rushing touchdown. So that, again, he was pretty overshadowed. Keep an eye out here for Dylan Edwards. Could definitely probably be also a difference maker for this team. But yeah, in the end, a great week 1. Of course, looking forward to week 2 and seeing what this happens and seeing who gets. Was it a huge deal with is Duke good? Clemson bad? Couple questions here for some other teams. Is Colorado actually like this? And of course, we also know some of the bigger names, Alabama, Oklahoma, are definitely, for the majority of it, going to be outscoring teams this badly throughout the year. So stay tuned for more videos, and definitely go follow my Instagram. I am going to be posting up there more frequently. And yeah, I'm subscribed to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!